What is the role of a parent? What is the role of a grandparent? The chaos of our society seems to be shifting the paradigm. What once was is encountering a drastic change.
My grandmother told me that I live in a world that everything is fast-paced, and that these parents are so involved. Parents, grandparents are so busy trying to get the kids in a gazillion activities that nobody's taking time to really be a family.
Even to this day, I'll tell other people, I just want to be a grandmother. Like, you know, this is my time. I don't want to have to do things. And my grandchildren expect that sometime. That I have a granddaughter, she'll be 13. She used to think that anything that she needed, I should have been the one to be able to get it for her. No, and I tell her that I am your grandmother. Please let me be that.
Parents want to be parents, and grandparents want to be grandparents. But the reality is, it doesn't always work out that way. The phenomenon of grandparents as parents is on the rise. The number of children living with grandparents instead of their parents has nearly doubled since 1991. In 1991, 4.1 million children lived with their grandparents. As of the 2009 census, 7.8 million children fit into this category. This means that today, 1 in 20 children live in a household headed by at least one grandparent with no parent present. 1 in 20 means that most early childhood educators will encounter this aspect of diversity in their classrooms each year. It is a role that grandparents find themselves in without warning.
I wasn't ready to have another child. Mine were all in school and I was done, but here he was.
Donovan is a happy, healthy 15-year-old boy. As a toddler, he was placed in the care of Children's Services. His grandparents stepped up to the plate and took responsibility for Donovan's living accommodations and care during his parental separation.
Growing up, my father was in and out of my life. My mom was always sick. So actually my sisters and brothers, my older sisters and brothers raised the younger sisters and brothers. So that instinct was always there. As a teen, when I got out on my own, I had a younger brother stand with me because he had nowhere else to go. He didn't want to live with my father, and he was getting passed from aunt to sister to whatever, so he ended up staying with me. It's always been in my family that you don't put your family out for someone else to take care of them. You take care of them as, what do you say, it takes a village, and that's what we were, I guess.
Children are children. Regardless of the circumstances, children want the same things most people want: to be loved, to be safe, to be played with, and to be raised in a loving and nurturing environment.
When I grow up, I want to be an actuary. I want to become a financial advisor. I want to play baseball. I want to be a father. I want to be a good friend.
Donovan is my heart. Yeah, I love him.
The program in Franklin County has grown significantly over the years. Nationally, in the 2000 census, there's over 86,000 grandparents caring for children in their homes. That's continued to grow in Franklin County to the point that we serve around 400 kids that we currently have open cases with in kinship homes, and have close to 1,000 kids that have already been through the program that the staff still continues to serve and still continues to work towards meeting their needs and providing for them. What the Kinship Caregivers Program is a program that if children that are being abused and neglected, if they're not able to maintain safely in their own home, then the next best thing would be in the home of a relative or somebody that they have close familiarity with, like a grandparent or a grandmother or those kinds of things. Franklin County's been doing that since 2001, and it's a growing program.
In January, we started what we call the Kinship Advocate Program, which is a program that is established for open cases where we have placed children that are still under the custody of Franklin County Children's Service with relatives or extended family members to provide services to help maintain and stabilize that placement. what a financial impact or what a life-changing impact that child can have on your life. And we just wanted to provide services to help stabilize the placement and to assist that relative or extended family member with services to help keep that child out of the system with someone that they knew, in their community, in their schools, with their friends and family, just in a familiar surrounding.
Kinship caregivers could be anything from a grandparent, it could be an aunt and uncle, it could be a sister or a brother. I believe that we have them from people in their young 20s to in their 80s.
You can't imagine if you're a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, an extended family member, a friend of the family's, whoever, that you've taken a child out of the custody of Franklin County Children's Services, brought that child into your home, what a financial impact or what a life-changing impact that child can have on your life. Playpens, beds, washers and dryers, food, clothing, diapers, numerous services, anything that's going to help maintain that placement, because you have some relatives that are taking children into the home that if as a single person and then you have 4 or 5 different children come into your home and you don't have a washer and dryer. So our agency would provide a washer and dryer to help maintain that placement. We'd also assist them with groceries and buying soap, powder, anything that we would probably take for granted that that person doesn't have.
In the past, we've had a couple parents who've come in, their grandparents. One little girl's mother had passed away, and so then her grandparents had to take care of her. And the struggles that the grandparents I see is being able to find resources or even able to afford to come to programs because it was never in their budget because their kids were grown, so they didn't have budget for their grandchildren. So then we have to find funding for them, different people to sponsor her granddaughter to come to the program.
Grandparents as parents, kinship caregivers can give the love and confidence a child needs to grow and develop in wonderful ways.
There is nothing that I think that I can't do.
Kinship caregivers are more than typical caregivers. They are people who may have had lifestyles that are very different from the lifestyle they are about to unexpectedly enter. They now have to prepare for an abrupt expansion of their own family. Therefore, their needs may be drastically different than those of families who have had time to anticipate and prepare for a new arrival via birth of their own child or adoption.
The kinship care providers may have different needs than those of standard parents. They weren't planning probably on having these additional kids in their home. They may have access for transportation issues. They may just have a lot of different needs. What would be important for those children to recognize is that not all kids have that opportunity. Not all kids have a caring family member that's willing and able to help provide for them, and that they're in a unique situation that allows them a consistent family-like setting that they're used to, and more easily gaining access to their relatives, to school friends, those kinds of things that they become accustomed to.
Whatever the situation your parents put you in, just know that there's someone out there that loves you, and give them a chance to do whatever it is that they can do to help you. There's
nothing to be afraid about. You can look to them as if they were your parents, which they pretty much are. They're going to be taking care of you. They're going to take you where you need to go. Be at your school when you get in trouble. Be at your school if you need if you're at a concert, or if you're in detention. They'll be there to get you.
I think I want to say to the kids, be happy that your grandparents love you so much that they're putting their life on hold just for you, to make sure that you have the better things in life, a good education, a place to live. They're sharing their love with you, and that they didn't allow you to go to nobody else but them.
First, when my youngest was in child care, I focused on what he got when he was there, and that was the type of child care I look for. The name that my son Austin, where I took him to, that was the first child care we took him to. For some reason, I don't know why that didn't work out, financially maybe. And then we ended up taking him to another one, and I don't know, the second one, I don't know if because what happened to him, he was having problems there where they were calling us. I'm like, this boy's only 2 or 3, and they're calling us like he's in school to come and get him, or he's biting the kids, and they seem to call us in and talk to us and find out what they could do to help transition him through that. So
it would be important to recognize that the children may have some behavioral issues or things related to the loss of leaving their birth home, and they may have, say, instance, acting out behaviors or those kinds of things. So it would be important to be aware of those types of concerns and be able to address them.
And I think that's the part that I really like about early childhood, is being able to fit all the pieces to the puzzle together. Most children will let you know what it is that's wrong with them, and we have to be able to listen and not always be able to put our opinion in there, but just really let them talk, and so we can hear what it is that they need. And I think it's our responsibility as the educators in early childhood to be able to recognize everything that's going on with all the kids that walk through our doors, whether they're being raised by a grandparent, their own parent, foster care, or whatever. First and foremost, the kids don't realize that they're different. The adults know that there's a difference. Kids don't see that. Kids see kids, and they just want to play. Just breathe in, breathe out, and enjoy the moments, and allow us to help you. If there's anything that you need, let us help you. Let us be your rock, because when you go home at night and you just want to lay down and you're tired and you really don't want to help, but we've already showed them how to, when you get home, you hang your coat up, you put your shoes in the corner, and then you can read a book to grandma or grandpa, and so just those kind of things. And I think once the grandparents are able to relax and know that we got their back, I think it makes it easier.
While the paradigm of diversity in family may continue to evolve, there will always remain one constant, the one word that is universal, which transcends language, culture, and time, whose power continues to drive people to serve the world in profound ways that go beyond the boundaries of themselves. That word? Love.